with Resident Evil Requiem and Monster Hunter Stories 3 already out, you would think maybe Capcom would take it easy a little bit for the rest of the year. But in a few short weeks, it will be releasing Pragmata, and I was very lucky enough to get a hands-on preview before the game comes out. So let's dive in.
It almost had us!
Yeah, nice moves, kid.
Hello everybody, my name is Warwick and welcome to Warwick Reviews, or in this case, Warwick Previews. Today, as I said, we're going to be checking out a new hands-on preview of Pragmata. I got invited by Capcom Europe to check a new sort of area of the game, try out more things that the game has going on. But before we do all that, hi, hope you're doing well. Again, my name is Warwick and I don't just do reviews or previews on this channel, although you'll find many here on all sorts of things, but also you may find me streaming on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Warwick, and various socials where it may be. But as I said, I'm going to jump straight into my hands-on preview of Pragmata. So if you don't know, Pragmata is Capcom's newest IP, is an all-new science fiction adventure with its own unique hacking twist, where you find you playing as Hugh with their android companion Diana, who together must work as they make their way through the cold lunar research station and find out what's going on, basically. And with this is a new hands-on preview of part of the game. So this actually finds you about sort of halfway through the game, or at the very least where the story starts to open up to find out sort of a bit more ideas or maybe even more questions of what's going on and stuff. So what I found through my time with this preview was learning more about sort of the mechanics of the game. Again, if you don't know, the unique sort of selling point of this game is a unique hacking ability that Diana has. It is like sort of an action shooter, sort of third person, similar to like Resident Evil or other RE engine games, but you have Diana who can hack at the same time, and you do that through a different control system. I play for controller, so you sort of aim with the joystick and one of the triggers, and then to hack you use one of the sort of the lettered buttons, so the X or zeros to do better hacking. And with hacking, it allows you to power up your weapons or gives you extra shields or abilities depending on what sort of extras you have. But with this, we are learning more about sort of the other elements of the game. So there's one big thing with this is the hub. So you got this hub. It's a place where you can revisit and visit at any point basically throughout the game. So there'll be certain like checkpoints where it's like sort of like a save point or like ladders, and you can go back to this hub or your base. And this is where you can speak to someone called Cabin, which is like a robot companion who sort of operates the hub for you. So one of the really cool features with this is with Diana is you can have conversations with her. She's an android who doesn't really know humans or Earth really, so it's learning about things with us. And with that, there's this really cool thing where you can basically pick up presents for her. So these are scattered throughout the world as you play and you pick them up, and these are basically like snapshots of different parts of what children do on Earth basically. So for example, what we're showing here now is a little TV with like a cartoons on it, and you can actually have like displayed in the hub as though it's real, and Diana will interact with them, and you can also have conversations with her about it. So there's sort of dialogue trees and stuff that go through, and you can have conversations about learning about the world. And I thought it was really sweet because for us, we know about these things, you know, about sort of TVs and sort of entertainment, and you know, the things that we may take for granted, especially as a child. But for Diana's sake, she's an android, she's not experienced any of this, making us rethink things slightly. Another bit with the hub is something called firmware updater, so you can update yourself as well as Diana. So there's suit, primary unit, and hacking. Suit is your suit that you're wearing throughout the game, so more HP and defense on your primary unit. So your primary unit is your main weapon. As well, you can also update Diana with her hacking as well, and it shows you stats, so you can sort of spend and see how much it does there. So that's all done in the hub as well. You have a unit printer, which is basically where you can get abilities and weapon upgrades and even hacking upgrades. So we have like weapons, hacking abilities, and attachments. And these here are some of the things that you pick up throughout the game. So for example, like a shockwave gun or a status net, and for X amount of credits that you pick up through the game, you can upgrade them so rate of fire is increased or ammo capacity is increased, etc. Then you have like abilities and stuff like that. And even with Cabin as well, there's something called Cabin System, which is like Cabin's stamp club. So you basically collect Cabin coins throughout the game, and you can exchange them to do sort of like this club thing where you can like potentially get really cool items and stuff. So that's mainly sort of the hub, and you got a few bits as well, you know, like lore and backgrounds of enemies that you've found throughout the game so far. But it's somewhere that you will find yourself going to constantly to make sure you upgrade, because you might go through a level, pick up some items, go, you know what, let's go back to the hub and explore there. So that's that bit, which is sort of, you know, new bit that's been explored. And then with sort of the main game as itself, we sort of explored a bit more of the enemies that have been sort of showcased in some trailers so far, sort of these big baby face looking robots. We are learning how to deal with them. We are picking up more weapons and sort of is at a point where you are more accustomed to the control. So then you can work with it and defeat enemies or multiple enemies as well. So for this part of the game, we're basically in this sort of processed Earth or New York, basically. So this New York is on one of the bases, which is like a home away from home. And you can sort of see like some bits have been scanned or like printed incorrectly, sort of see like these figments sort of sticking out. And we're trying to get through, we get to the hub to find out what's happened to the population because there's no humans about. But we get locked out by this big, all-powerful computer called IDIS. And so we have these locked doors. So we have to go to different nodes throughout sort of the area that we're in to unlock them with Diana. And with that, we get ambushed by different enemies and stuff. So it's a lot of sort of platforming. So if you've played sort of these similar games like this, where exploring, similar like Monster Hunter, of similar games, because it's an RE engine, you'll be very accustomed to it, just like a sci-fi setting. And so you basically get through this gate, exploring different things. And also as well, as you're going through the world, you are exploring, as I said, with Diana in the hub, you also explore with Diana, so she will see certain things and there'll be certain points where you can do dialogue options and she will go, hey, what's this, Hugh? You know, what's this about? And asking the questions. So it's nice sort of seeing that humanity sort of playing out from someone who doesn't understand that. And so throughout the time, learning different things, exploring different things. So there's a lot of puzzle platformers as well, a lot of exploring. So a lot of things you can sort of find. So I found myself playing, okay, there's the path. This is where it wants me to go. Where else can I go? And so I was exploring different areas and finding different things. And it does pay off to explore everywhere because you never know what you'll find. You know, there's a lot of things you can find to help increase and upgrade yourself and Diana. We go through all that. There's even these red zone areas, which you have to get red gate keys, which is like sort of these hard areas. Go inside and then it's basically like harder enemies, but the payoff is if you survive or defeat all the enemies, then you get loads of loot, which is always nice. So risk and reward, but you can collect them through the game. And again, as I said, we're sort of going back to the hub, is you can re-explore these areas. So there are points where it's like, hey, you've cleared X% of this part of the map. You can go back to it, a bit more powered up, where you feel like, okay, that was a bit hard. I'll go back to it at a later date. So you can re-explore different areas if and when needed. But yeah, so doing all that, exploring and taking it all in and reading all the lore and stuff, we get to finally open the gate and then we get stopped by IDIS again. They don't like us very much. And so they activate a pretty big boss who looks a bit terrified and we have a bit of a boss battle. I won't go too much detail about it, but there's a lot of tricks with this, which is really cool. And it really kept me on my toes. I did defeat it. Not that the footage is here, but I did defeat it. I was very close to like failing, but I just did it. And that was basically our preview. So I only had a short time with it, sort of learning a bit more about how the game works. And I mean, I've been hyped for this game from the very beginning, and I'm even more hyped. Capcom's already just released Resident Evil Requiem and Monster Hunter Stories 3, and yet this comes out in a few weeks, and I feel like Capcom could generally have top three games of the year, and it's only March. Granted, it's coming in April, but yeah, it's only the first part of the year. I am so excited for this game. I had absolute blast with this game. It ran fantastically. I had about 2 hours with it and I could have played a lot longer. I was exploring every area, every piece of lore, taking it all in, and I just had an absolute blast with it. It felt really good with sort of the control mechanism. I've played a demo before, even tried to preview at Gamescom in 2025, so I had an idea of how the controls work, and with that I was able to sort of put combos together and sort of feel like I was competent in the game, but at the same time the game did also hand my ass back to me at times. It's like very much, hey, we know you know what you're doing, but here's a new enemy, good luck. And so there was a sort of wasn't difficult in the sense that I felt unfair. It was like, okay, I just need to re-evaluate how I do things, or maybe upgrade my skills, maybe don't go to the area straight away and go back at a later date. But honestly, I had an absolute blast with this game. I cannot wait to play more, and I'm so excited for people to check it out. Again, if you haven't checked out the demo, I highly recommend it, especially on the Switch 2. I love the Switch 2. I've been playing a lot of games. I've been playing Rec Room on the Switch 2, and it runs really well, and it's a fantastic console, which I'm glad Capcom is supporting wholeheartedly. But any version you play will be great, but the demo is available everywhere. And yeah, that's my preview. So thank you very much for listening and or watching. Again, a huge shout out to Capcom Europe for the preview access. I really appreciate it. Really means a lot to me to have this opportunity, and thank you for watching. Again, my name is Warwick, and I don't just do reviews on here, although I do many as well as previews and unboxings. You'll find lots of content here, but I also stream on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Warwick, and on various socials where you may be. But thank you again for watching. Please take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.